am Jonathan Knight, and this is B-Movie Madness. The movie I'm going to review tonight, good old Trash Can. Finally, going to review Screaming for Sanity, Truth or Dare Part 3. Now I say finally because, well, simply put, I reviewed the first two Truth or Dare movies back in 2014. And I actually plan on reviewing all four. There's now 5 movies, but at the time there's 4. I was going to review all 4 movies. I actually shot a review for this one. At the time I was having audio issues, not audio issues like I'm having now with the sync. These were like the microphone, my old web camera was picking up a lot of computer noise. So I would have to take the audio file and kind of, scrub it to, make sure it, you couldn't really hear the loud computer noise. So when I fixed it for Truth or Dare 1 and 2, and then when I looked at the file for 3, I looked at the review. I wasn't really happy with it at all. I thought I could have done a better job. In fact, I think I could have done a better job for the other Truth or Dare movies, but overall they were better reviews than the one I did for this one. Well, cut to 2019, and SRS Cinema has put this movie and the first sequel, Wicked Games, out on Blu-ray. With brand new special features. Wicked Games has the snuff cut, which is like a recut version of the original version of that movie. It's radically different. It's actually pretty neat. Commentary track interview, and this movie has a longer cut of this movie with the commentary and interviews and all that. But overall, my opinion about this has not really changed much since I watched it. I was a huge fan of the first movie, and I actually really liked Wicked Games a lot. I thought Wicked Games had a fun story, had some great kills, and it had a great little twist at the end. And it was nicely, fastly paced. I think it was only like 80 minutes long, so it was really tightly paced. I really liked that. This one, my opinion about this one, yeah, it hasn't changed since then. But before I get into that, let me tell you what it's about. It's about a man who, his wife and child were killed during the first Truth or Dare movie by Mike Strauber, the Copper Mask killer. And lately he's been talking to a psychologist, and he keeps on seeing visions of his dead wife talking to him, and she eventually convinces him to murder the people who are exploiting Mike Strauber. But, one guy is selling serial killer merchandise based on him. One guy wrote a book about it. A woman is like a fangirl in love with them, and he decides, I'm sick and tired of these people exploiting this son of a bitch who killed my loved one, so I'm going to murder them. Good old-fashioned, love story. But that was actually my favorite part of the movie. I actually really liked the story of this movie and how it went back to the original movie and brought back, a connection to it. It was just kind of like it was kind of a fucked up kill because he ran over a baby. But they brought that back into the third movie. While the second movie mainly focused on new characters, this one brought back someone connected to the first movie. And I really appreciated that. It was a really great story, and it's a very good story for a slasher sequel because usually, they rinse, repeat, do the same thing over and over again. But this one actually tries something different, and I appreciate that. The other thing I really liked about it was Joel D. Wynkoop. He is playing the same role he played in the second movie, Detective Dan Hess. Well, you find out in the third movie, the orderly character he played in the first movie, the little small cameo role, is actually the same character in the sequels. He eventually went from orderly to detective, so that's pretty cool. Another connection back to the original movie. And he's really good. He's one of the best parts of the movie. Eventually, him and the main plot of the movie, which is about the husband killing off the people, the exploiting Mike Strauber, they eventually clash at the end of the movie. There's a big fight, and that's cool too. And there's actually a pretty neat little twist. I don't think it's as good as the twist in Wicked Games, but it's a fairly decent twist. The main reason that I can't quite bring myself to really like this movie is 2 things. One thing, can be explained because I'll talk about it. The main thing is the movie is way too long. There is a bunch of subplots. Everybody has their own little subplot going on. You got the Dan Hess stuff. You got the individual characters that the husband's tracking down, killing. You got the psychologist. It's just way too much fat. Compared to Wicked Games, which is a very lean 80-minute movie, this one runs almost 2 hours at 1 hour and 54 minutes. I think there's a music video at the end. I think it runs about 1 hour and 45 without credits, 1 hour and 44. But it's way too long, and it's way too bloated for its own good. And it eventually becomes kind of a drag to watch. especially after watching Wicked Games again. It just, there's just way too much of a drag. The other thing that bugged me, and I will say this right now, Tim Ritter said he had very little money to work on this movie, less than Wicked Games. So he had to reuse special effects, and that's one thing is I thought the kills in this movie were extremely lackluster compared to Wicked Games. There's maybe one or two kills, one in particular that I thought was somewhat decent. It involves a nice pick in an eye. And then there's like a really prolonged kill that it takes a while for the guy to die. It's one of the people that the husband's tracking down who are exploiting Mike Strauber. His prolonged kill's good, but the kills in comparison to Wicked Games are extremely lackluster. I understand why they're lackluster because of the budget, but I can't help but criticize it because compared to Wicked Games, because Wicked Games had, in my opinion, incredible, for a shot-on-video movie, incredible kills. And the kills here just aren't that great. And when you mix that, because if this movie had the same runtime, but it had like a whole bunch of incredible kills, I could forgive the runtime for for the most part, forgive the runtime. But because there's not really any great kills, and the movie's really bloated, it was kind of I wouldn't say hard to watch, but not an easy watch either. And it was disappointed, especially because I thought, there was about an 8-year gap in between the release of Truth or Dare and Wicked Games, and this was only like a 4-year gap, maybe. Thankfully, Deadly Dare's the fourth film, the one that followed in this, I think 2011, took its time getting here, but it was a much better follow-up than this, in my opinion. The only thing that was missing was some Joel D. Wynkoop. So it has that thing going against it still. But overall, yeah, my opinion for Screaming for Sanity is just the same as it was in 2014. Although it's more clear now that I've been able to listen to the commentary and dig through the extras and just rewatch the movie. Is that it's just not. It's a very underwhelming sequel. It has a good story. It has a good acting performance from Joel D. Wynkoop, but it's just way too bloated for its own good, and the kills are very underwhelming for this type of movie. But do I recommend you watch it? Absolutely. And I will say one thing about SR Cinema. This right here, this cover, is amazing. The cover they did for the DVD was shit. It was like a Jason Goes to Hell rip-off poster, and it was shit. This is the original VHS art. Both that and the Wicked Games one were, I want to mispronounce his name, Chaz Ballum of Deep Red Magazine, I think it was. He has since passed away. His art for both Wicked Games and this, and I do have many posters of this, and anyone who knows me sees my Truth or Dare poster. I'm going to put Wicked Games and Screaming for Sanity up soon, hopefully. But overall, do I recommend this if you're a fan? Absolutely. If you have seen the first two and haven't seen this movie, absolutely check it out, because this movie does have its fans. I think Tim Ritter on the commentary track said that it does get a mixed response from the fan base, but there is quite a few people who like it, including Scott Tepperman, who co-directed the fifth movie that came out last year, that I reviewed, I think, in written review. He really likes this movie, so see, there is fans of this movie. I just don't see myself rewatching it again in the future. Maybe rewatching it with the commentary track, because Tim Ritter's commentary tracks are always really informative and fun. But as for the first two movies, I can rewatch them anytime. And in the future, I really want to do the fourth and fifth movie. That way I have done all of them. So that would be really cool. But you can get these at SRS Cinema. I think they're limited, but I don't think they're sold out yet. I'll put a link down below. You can get them separately or together, and I think if you get them together, you get the posters. I'm not sure if you get the posters if you separately, but if you get them together, you get the posters. But yes, I do recommend, if you're a fan and you haven't seen it, and if you're a fan and you have seen it and love it, I highly recommend it. I highly recommend it even if you don't like it, just to have it. The commentary track there was none on the DVD, so you get that. But that's about it. Like I said, in the future I hope to do the fourth and fifth movie. I really need a refresher on both of them, because I only watched the fifth movie once, and I really need to give it a second chance, because I was underwhelmed with that one too. But I don't like that I'm underwhelmed. I'm disappointed I was disappointed. So I need to give that one another chance, because there's a lot of hard work I was put into it. But other than that, let's see. That's about it. I'm going to be reviewing some more stuff in the future. I'm thinking about bringing something I do on Facebook to video form. My B-movies of the day. Doing that, but you know, you'll see the first one of that pop up by the beginning of next week. But other than that, I am John. If you like my channel, subscribe, hit the bell, give me a thumbs up, comment any comments you want, as long as they're not extremely rude, you know. But you know, be honest. Be honest without being annoying. That's it right there. But I'm Jonathan Knight. It's been B Movie Madness. Thanks for watching.